Hello, my name is Shahida Lopez. I'm the Director of Secondary Language Learning and the IRI Project Lead. In the next few slides, I'm going to share with you the process and timeline we're going to follow to update the K-12 social studies frameworks to ensure that they meet our requirements for instruction on race and identity. Before I begin, however, I want to clarify that this work does not live in social studies alone. Instruction on race and identity lives in every content area to include advisory. However, the first part of the work, we're going to focus on updating social studies, and the next year we'll be able to do the same for other content areas. So the timeline of our work was identified in December 2020 when the IRI task force and WIT Consulting developed this process that I'm going to share with you. The IRI task force is a group of central office specialists, which also includes Lexi Zamorano, our social studies specialist, and also directors from central office, which also includes me, and WIT Consulting, which is a consulting firm whose members originally worked with teaching tolerance and created a lot of the work from teaching tolerance. So now they've branched off as WIT Consulting, and they're helping us here in Highline continue the work that we're doing. In January, the next step of our process is to finalize and deliver teacher surveys. I'll tell you more about these surveys in a little bit, but just for you to know, these surveys will only be delivered to teachers who teach social studies. In February, the survey results will be analyzed, and we will also conduct a unit audit to identify which identity, diversity, justice, and action standards are in each unit. In March, we will begin the work to update the frameworks. The goal is to have 2 to 3 units updated per grade level. We will continue this work in April, and we will finalize the frameworks by the end of May. Again, 2 to 3 units per grade level. So the product of this work, the survey data. So this social studies survey is for teachers to identify what units and topics they're currently teaching or have currently taught and plan to continue to teach. And this will help us identify the 2 or 3 most taught units across the district so that we can focus in revising those units because those are the ones that are being used the most. After identifying those units, there will be an IDJA unit audit. Again, identity, diversity, justice, and action. These are the 4 domains in the social justice standards. And this audit means that we are looking at each unit to see which ones includes what standards. They may all be represented somewhere or maybe not. And this audit would allow us to see what standards are missing, how they can be embedded, or how they are currently embedded. Now with this information and this information, because another thing that we can do is to analyze diverse text and look and see if the text that students have access to are things that we consider to be diverse. This is an example of a tool that can be used, developed by Teaching Tolerance. So after looking at the audit and this diverse text analysis, we will then begin the bulk of the work, which is to update the frameworks. Updated frameworks mean that they will have embedded social justice standards, updated guiding questions, updated suggestions for activities and assessments to make sure that instruction in race and identity and the requirements for this type of instruction are met in the 2 to 3 units that we're going to update per grade level. If you have any questions about this work, feel free to contact Lexi Zamorano or myself, Shahida Lopez. Thank you.